one free fleece for the whole family. Plus, up to 60% off on top name brands you love. Save big with the best deals this Black Friday at WSS, your neighborhood shoe store.
Insurance companies might claim to be on your side, but their priority is minimizing payoffs. That's where we come in.
We don't just handle claims, we fight. With a 99% success rate, free consultations, and no fees unless we win, we make sure nobody settles for less than what's right.
We analyze every detail of your case, leaving nothing to chance, so you can trust that you're in the best of hands.
Call Larry H. Parker today at 800-333-0000. We'll fight for you.
Whether in sickness or in health, IEHP is there for you with a team of specialists connecting you to the care you need.
I'll be right here.
As soon as you need it, making sure you have the treatments and prescriptions you need to give you hope and a chance to heal.
Well, she's doing great.
I'm going to check on you later, okay?
Because care that's there for you is care you can feel. Inland Empire Health Plan. Care you can feel.
Performance that truly matters for each and every one of us. This is what you've been waiting for. Shenyun. Coming to Greater Los Angeles, January 15th through February 8th. Get your tickets now at shenyun.com.
Good morning, I'm Frank Buckley. The TSA proposing a new fee that could help airline passengers who don't have a real ID or passport. We'll explain.
Good morning, I'm Carlos Herrera. A person is dead, 3 others badly injured, including an Alhambra police officer after a high-speed crash that happened overnight here, ended in a violent crash here. We're live with an update next.
Good morning, I'm Trevor Shirley, live in Washington. Today, the nation remembers former Vice President Dick Cheney. He's being honored at a memorial service here in Washington, but there are some notable absences from that event. I've got the latest on that coming up just ahead.
Good morning, I'm Jessica Holmes. 2 massive local shopping malls rank among the best in the country to get fit for free. We'll explain.
Hey there, everybody. Good morning. I'm Melvin Robert. Coming up, Sabrina Carpenter rocks the Crypto.com arena for night 3, and we may have had some spies inside, and Snoop D-O Double G has a new cookbook just in time for the holidays. We'll tell you about that, too.
All right, here we go with the weather forecast. Clouds starting to move in. We can expect rain by about 2, maybe even earlier this afternoon, and it's going to rain all the way through tonight into tomorrow. Snow in the upper heights of the mountains, anywhere from 7,000 to 7,500 feet. You can expect maybe 3 to 6 inches of snow. So here we go. Coastal, downtown, San Fernando Valley, all of them turning into clouds and rain. Highs ranging anywhere from 58 up to 60 degrees. Inland Empire, rain also. Orange County inland, 61, 59 for the Inland Empire, and 54 in the high desert. Full details coming up in just a couple of moments, but basically the story is rain. Let's go to Ginger in traffic.
Yeah, that's a really big story, right? The rain that is expected later on for your afternoon commute. If you can make that adjustment, that would be great. And some people actually getting off work at about 2 o'clock. That's just about the time, like Mark said, the rain may hit. Now, the 5 southbound side, we're going to put this one right at about the 60 split. You know, this is a really bad spot to have any kind of hiccup in lanes because it's always so crowded. I mean, you see the bunching up of the freeways, right? So apparently it was a bus that caught fire. And so there are a lot of people outside trying to help put it out, that kind of thing. Nobody was aboard except for the driver, and he's okay, he or she, but the drive continues to be slow. Not terribly far from that spot. We'll take you back to look at that crash along the 110 freeway, the southbound side, right here as you approach that 5 split. That's where things are already pretty tough. You move farther to the south, you can see heavy delays, and that's all because everyone's loaded up trying to head into downtown, but the 5 really taking a hard hit, even though there's not too much in lanes except for that crash well farther to the south of this. We're going to keep watch of all these things that are going to pop and jam up your ride on your Friday Eve. I'll send it back to you.
Back to our breaking news out of Alhambra this morning. An Alhambra police officer is in the hospital after being involved in a violent pursuit crash overnight. The collision also left one person dead, 2 others injured. KTLA's Carlos Herrera live from the scene with the latest for us. Carlos, good morning.
Good morning, Frank. And so far, we know a woman behind the wheel of a gray SUV that was being chased by Alhambra police through this area has died here at the scene. Her 2 passengers now hospitalized. This, of course, as we wait for an update on the condition of the Alhambra police officer who was involved in this high-speed crash. You can see he was driving this badly damaged squad car now in the middle of the roadway. It appears the impact was so bad that it ended up striking that light pole that's now on the ground. There's all sorts of debris across the road and the sidewalk. Several police officers here, detectives, investigators on scene carrying out to determine what exactly happened here. We do have a cell phone video from nearby residents. It shows the Alhambra police cars escorting the ambulance that was transporting that officer to LA General Medical Center in Boyle Heights, where they arrived minutes later. We're told the officer is there now being treated for very serious injuries, but again, we're waiting for an update. His condition still unknown at this point. Authorities say it was a little after 3 a.m. when this all started. Officers from the Alhambra Police Department initiated a pursuit of that gray SUV over on Valley Boulevard and Fremont Avenue. That brief chase ended in a crash in a nearby parking lot here at the intersection of Valley Boulevard and Edgewood Drive. It appears 2 people in that SUV were ejected, including that female driver who died at the scene. The 2 passengers, they were injured, taken to the hospital. We're told one of them is in critical condition. The other suffered minor injuries. Now, earlier this morning when this was all unfolding, just minutes later, we spoke with a man who did not want to be identified. He says he lives just down the street, heard everything that was going on, and ran out to try and help.
And it happened so quick. We heard sirens for a second, and then just a massive smash. Came running out. First went to the alley just up here. Noticed that there was a few people stuck in the car, somebody laying on the ground. I walked around over here, and then there was a couple of officers trying to get the other officer that was stuck in the car. He was unconscious and not doing so well. They were able to just yank him out, throw him onto the gurney, started chest compressions.
Paramedics arrived shortly after as well, but that officer was taken to the hospital. We're waiting for an update on his condition. Let's get you over to Sky 5 overhead right now, showing us the very heavy police presence here right now, and it shows you just how big this scene is. The amount of debris that's not only scattered on the sidewalk, on the roadway, but also in that nearby parking lot, in an alley as well. We had several streets that are blocked off here this morning, including Valley Boulevard. That's between Fremont and Raymond. The impact, of course, will go through the morning commute and possibly even through the afternoon hours, so you're urged to avoid this area. We're told that officers are going to be going through nearby businesses, trying to get surveillance video of the crash, trying to get more information about how exactly this all unfolded. But again, this investigation just getting started, and it appears, Frank and Jessica, that California Highway Patrol is leading it. For now, we'll send it back to you.
Carlos, we thank you for that this morning. A memorial service will soon get underway in our nation's capital to honor former Vice President Dick Cheney. KTLA's Trevor Shirley live in Washington with more on that. Trevor, good morning.
Jess, good morning. We're already starting to see a lot of dignitaries showing up for this service. There are some notable absences, though. President Donald Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance will not be in attendance today. Let's take a live look inside the National Cathedral here in Washington. You can see things just getting underway right there. The start time was 11 a.m. local time, so just starting a few minutes ago. That memorial service, as I mentioned, happening at the National Cathedral here in the nation's capital. Scheduled speakers include former President George W. Bush, under whom Cheney served as vice president for 2 terms. Cheney's daughter, former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, is also giving remarks. Former President Joe Biden is there. We saw him arrive just a few minutes ago. All of those people are also being joined by every other living former vice president. However, President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance were not invited, and it's not clear that anyone from the current administration will be in attendance. You may recall before the 2024 election, Dick Cheney surprised many people when he endorsed and voted for Vice President Kamala Harris, saying, quote, "There has never been an individual who was a greater threat to our republic than Donald Trump." President Trump did not publicly acknowledge Cheney when he died earlier this month. Now, before being elected to the vice presidency, Cheney served as the chief of staff to President Gerald Ford. He was also a member of Congress representing Wyoming. Cheney then served as defense secretary under President George H.W. Bush, overseeing the first Gulf War. And despite his illustrious career in public service, Cheney is also viewed as a controversial figure. His support for the Iraq War under President George W. Bush never faltered, even as it became clear Iraq had no weapons of mass destruction, which the White House used as the reason to invade Iraq back in 2003. Cheney was also a major proponent of controversial domestic surveillance techniques after 9/11, as well as efforts that some described as torture to gain information from suspected terrorists during the global war on terror. Cheney died earlier this month from pneumonia following years of heart-related health problems. Take a look. You can see at this point inside the National Cathedral, still waiting for Cheney's casket to arrive. We do know that it's outside, still hasn't been brought into the cathedral itself, though. It's not clear in the meantime where Cheney is expected to be buried. That service is expected to wrap up in just a few hours from now. That's the latest here in Washington. We'll send it back to you guys in L.A.
All right, Trevor, thank you. President Trump has signed the bill that releases the Epstein files. The president posted on Truth Social last night that he signed it into law. It requires the Department of Justice to release all unclassified files on the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein within 30 days. The Department of Justice must also include any information about the investigation into his death in a federal prison in 2019. It allows for redactions about Epstein's victims due to ongoing federal investigations. The DOJ cannot, however, withhold information due to embarrassment, reputational harm, or political sensitivity. Attorney General Pam Bondi claims her department will be fully transparent in releasing the files.
The TSA is proposing a new rule for airline passengers who do not have a real ID or passport.
They could face an $18 fee to have their identity verified. Under the proposed rule, airline travelers without the proper identification will instead have their identity verified on a new biometric kiosk system. The $18 fee would be used to help pay for the new technology. The TSA says this new policy wouldn't guarantee access past security screening, and that travelers could still face additional security and delays. The fee would be valid for 10 days. It's unclear if or when this new policy will roll out. If you don't have the real ID, you can use your passport. Yeah. You can also use